Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a Tier 9 game in my Chung Mu, and this game I'm going to discuss a little bit about how to use radar destroyers uh, with the upcoming rank season. Figure it's a pretty good idea to go over the implementation of radar. So if you were looking to run a Chung Mu or a Black, you would have a better understanding of how to utilize uh, your radar consumable so you have the most impact over the course of the game. So starting out, I do not have superintendent yet on this captain. I only have 3 radars to make my impact over the course of the battle felt. And the first thing that you want to take note is how I have my mini map set up. Now this one is modded in particular for how Cuter wants it for clan battles where we can draw on the mini map and do all sorts of crazy stuff. You don't need to do any of that. What you do need to do is hit the box here and make sure that you have your concealment circle visible on the map. You can see mine at 5.7, and then make sure that your radar uh, circle is displayed on the mini map so you can have a very accurate idea of what it is you're looking to do. Radar is going to come down a lot of times to timing. Um, for example, this initial radar, um, I've decided that I'm going to play aggressive. I want to try to push into this island, um, and just make sure nobody really approaches me as I'm coming in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let my radar get just just barely past the cap circle, and I'm gonna just go ahead and pop it. And what I'm trying to do with this radar is freeze any destroyers that are rushing towards the cap. You can see I'm waiting. It's getting just a couple kilometers past it. I don't want to waste a bunch of time on the radar, but I want to make sure I catch people. And I'm focusing. I'm gonna pause it right here because there's a lot going on. Um, I'm trying to get my team to focus this Fletcher, and at the same time, my torpedoes came up, so I know that these ships here, they're not going to want to stay here with my ships able to shoot them. These are squishy cruisers. They're going to be heading this way, so I'm going to throw my deep water torpedoes back in over here and try to make it pretty dangerous for any ship that wants to push into this area. This is kind of a 1-2 punch as I'm pushing in here, where I'm trying to stall out any destroyer rush, and at the same time prevent any cruiser from digging in along this island and being a pain in my ass. So we're gonna go ahead and kick this along. Unfortunately, it's a replay, so you can't really see what's going on where I'm aiming. I'm detected. No reason not to shoot. Uh, I mean, Chung Mu's got fantastic guns. Got 2 good volleys off there. Um, Now, my radar is already off, but this Fletcher shot at me. But because he was radared, he didn't have the opportunity to really go out there and use that smoke, and he just gets evaporated. So the enemy team is already down to tier 9 DD because of that one radar. Just it got completely in the way of their Fletcher. He was just caught overcommitted and pretty much just got hammered. I know that this Atlanta has radar. I'm looking to, play safe right here, and I'm gonna make kind of a dangerous poke here once I get the cap. I know that this Fletcher smoke is alive and well and is going to be here for a while since it was just laid. And I see one of their few radar cruisers sitting back here. This is a very strong position for an Atlanta. Um, so I don't want that guy feeling comfortable back there. So I'm just going to come up here, take a peek, and just torpedo this whole area. You know, go away, buddy. I don't want you here. And now torpedoes out. I'm just going to reverse back into cover. You know, we've killed, one of their DDs. They only have one other DD. He's on B cap. And at this point, I'm just content, doing some spotting. Um, you know, getting torpedo angles on guys and trying to turn this island position where guys don't want to sit here and try to hold this island. Um, Once that happens, it begins to get easy for my team to basically come up here to the corner and rotate around the corner and start to push through C. So, I mean, you see the effect of these deep water torps. They hit pretty damn hard for as concealable as they are. I do get radar detected by the Atlanta. So I'm just going to throw some shots out there, try to pick this Atlanta up. I have a little bit of HP to play, and if I can punish, one of the only radar cruisers on the enemy team, it's kind of worth it to get that guy killed. At this point, I'm the only destroyer on my team, and it's going to start to be critical that I get out of this position, even though I'm having a lot of success back here, making the enemy's position difficult. It's not something I'm going to obviously be able to hold forever. Um, this shore's pushing in. I don't want him to. His guns aren't looking at me. I still have island cover close by, and I'm just quickly going to focus this guy down and disengage and rotate out. Now, one thing to note with this build, I tend to run the the stock gunfire control system. So my maximum gun range is 11 kilometers rather than the 12 point something that it would be fully upgraded. And the difference between that is what you just saw there, how quickly I dropped off with this Atlanta. He might have been able to turn his guns and get a couple shots at me. Uh, but because he was, 10 and a half kilometers from me when I opened fire, I quickly was just able to disengage even before I got behind this island to use it for cover. So, right here, we've got cap parity. I'm not, you know, I'm unable to drive right through the enemy into this cap. It's suicide to try to do moves like that. So instead, I'm just going to go for the flank. I'm going to get in behind these battleships. Uh, this is one of the fundamental differences between Chung Mu and Black. Um, is this level of torpedo threat? Chung Mu is far more dangerous to battleships and cruisers than it is um, to pretty much anything that the black's gonna torp. I mean, I would not torp like this if I was a black. I would just focus on this guy, and I really would have had to take probably twice the lead to make sure that I got a piece of this Nelson. Whereas these torps at 66 knots, they're fast enough. I've got his broadside. I can take an accurate lead. Just drop the one, and I've got a pretty high probability of, smacking that guy. Now this Iowa, he's probably freaking out. I don't know if he's seen my torps or not, but he just probably witnessed that a battleship get sniped by one torpedo volley, and Chung Mu's got a pretty fast torpedo reload, so this guy obviously isn't going to want to hang around. Um, I thought he was going to try to rush my cruisers here. Instead, he's just running, and that's the smart move. If he would try to rush my cruisers, I'm in perfect position to kill him. And this is a smart play by this Iowa, uh, just to kite away and just try to farm these cruisers as he's kiting away. I do think that he's playing a little too careful by turning all the way completely out, but you know, is what it is. Uh, him turning that far out, that's kind of why I think he just got hammered by one of the battleships north of B, and he's going to be a pretty easy kill at this point. Now, coming around here, I'm starting to enter area where, and there he is, that this Kagero. I was expecting him to be hunting these battleships. I think he just got radared by our Missouri, and this guy's my next target. I want to make sure that, I get this guy taken care of, get him out of the way for my team. Killing the last enemy destroyer is great. It makes it that much harder for the enemy to be able to cap. And, you know, at that point, my job also becomes easy because, there's nothing that my torpedoes can't punish. So with this particular radar, what I'm doing, I know that this destroyer, he's already inside my radar detection range. I basically spotted this guy. Um, but what I want to do is I want to deny the spotting advantage that he has, where should have 5.4 kilometer concealment compared to my 5.7. If I just push into him, yes, he's low HP. Um, you know, chances are he might get the first shot off at me. And the issue is with the Japanese destroyers, that first shot can mean a lot. Um, so I'm just going to push in here. I pop it, and I catch this guy. He's completely unaware. I'm getting the first shots off. Um, looks like his guns are, out of place, and that early radar turns him into a much easier kill. Um, this is one of the advantages of these radar ambushes, where ships that typically would rely on, getting that first shot off, Yagumo, Kagero, and typically the Japanese torp boats. Um, another extent would be Jutland. You've got the ability to get the jump on these guys and start tilting that DPM fight in your favor faster. Um, typically, well, Chung Mu in particular, Black in particular, they will have higher DPM than, a lot of those boats, Jutland being the exception. Um, but you're able to get these shots off um, on particularly the Japanese destroyers before they're able to spot you, get their guns on target, and really get those accurate shots, taken. Now, one thing to note, why didn't I go cap? A destroyer's job's to cap. We already had the cap. We didn't even need the cap. This game's already won. In my opinion, I'm going to pause it right there because I'm doing something. In my opinion, my team was going to push through B cap. My job is better spent just pursuing the enemy, keeping things spotted, and just working these guys down. At this point, I am operating as a spotter and a damage dealer, and you're gonna watch my spotting damage just keep ramping up and up. Now what I'm doing here, I basically pre-fired torpedoes off this island, expecting this rune to kind of push in this direction. Uh, it looks like he's getting ready to turn away. So me shooting, I'm betting on this guy's going to basically either hold in a position like this for a split second, or even better, try to take a shot at me. So I'm just gonna take the shots, and it looks like he's. I'm looking again right now, real close. He just now spotted the torps. I think he popped hydro when I started shooting at him, and it's too late. He eats a torp, and he's going to go down here shortly to the flood, or actually a fire. Now, at this point, this is one of the weaknesses of Chung Mu. Um, Trying to disengage after you've been shooting your guns. And I do it in this case just by trying to get narrow to, the main threat. Want to angle to this Leon that's going to be shooting, jockeying my speed, and, just in general be a pain in the ass to hit. So right here, this lion's taking himself out of the fight. I don't even want to chase him. I'm just going to drop one set of torps on him, and I'm going to go steam for the Iowa and the Scharnhorst. He's pretty much a non-factor in this game, as far as I'm concerned, just because of his positioning. Now, it is true that he can hit, ships that are trying to push into A, but we don't need A. We can just sit here and hold it at B, and we're good. And just taking a look right here, and, it's easy with these torpedoes. It really is. So I dropped the next set off on this Iowa. This guy goes on ahead and, for whatever reason, jockeys his speed. It's a good play on his part. And, I was just spotted up there killing that rune. So it's a good play for him to try to get safe. But he's pushing into me, and he pretty much has to try to get something done for his team. But he's going to have a hard time, trying to win this game. It's pretty much done, and I've pretty much made the decision here. I'm just going to rush this guy. He just shot, and I'm going in. You got friendly Otago torps coming in. Just taking another look. And this guy's making it easy turning like this, so I'm just going to cut in. Get nice and close. He's done. And that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will talk to you later.